Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you'll probably notice that around the change of season, either fall or autumn or spring, as the temperatures shift to more cooler weather, you'll start to see my iPhone and iOS videos filmed outside. Now, I do change it up from time to time throughout summer and winter, but when I can, I get outside to change the scenery from just a white or black background or something indoors to something a little bit different and actually a little bit more challenging to actually film. So I like to get outside, and many of you ask me what devices, what cameras, what audio gear and things are you using to record outside. So I'm pretty big on audio, and I want to make sure that the audio sounds good but also captures a lot of the environment. So we'll talk about all of that gear in just a moment. But the first thing that I'm using may surprise you a little bit, and that's actually an iPhone. In fact, I'm using an iPhone 11 Pro Max front-facing camera right now, and I'm just using that camera to record all of this. Now, a lot of you have been surprised and asked me, what camera am I using when I'm filming that footage? And most of you don't realize that it's an iPhone that's actually that good. As long as you have the right lighting conditions, it's great outside. And in fact, many people have never once commented or asked when I used a more expensive camera outside. I've used everything from a Panasonic S1 to camcorders to everything. And the only ones that I get comments on how good the footage looks is on iPhone footage. So I figured, why use anything more difficult? Just set an iPhone up and start filming with it. Now, before I talk about all the other gear that I use when I'm filming outside, I thought I'd talk about, well, trees. And the reason I say that is Mr. Beast has partnered with thousands of creators in order to try and plant 20 million trees in celebration of his 20 million subscribers that he just reached. Now, this is a pretty big goal, but I think we can do it with all of you out there. Now, you can either plant a tree yourself, or if you donate $1 to the Arbor Day Foundation, or $20 or $100, for every dollar donated, they'll plant one tree. 100% of that profit goes towards planting the trees, and YouTube will cover the actual transaction fee if you use the donate button below. Now, if you live in an area that's been devastated by wildfires, or maybe you just don't have a lot of trees, they are a logging area or something, why not try and replenish these trees so that generations to come can have an area to go to either film, relax, and just enjoy nature. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check out the information in the description or hit the donate button below. Now, of course, to record footage, you're going to need some sort of iPhone or camera, and that iPhone XR is what I recorded the majority of my footage on over the past year or so. Now, even though some people don't prefer the iPhone XR, I preferred it for its consistency with video. I found it to be more consistent as far as its white balance and other settings that it adjusts automatically. I would leave everything in full auto, and I found the XR did a really great job. Now, when you're filming and you're not handheld, of course, you need some way to hold the phone, and that's where a tripod comes in. And this is my tripod of choice. This is a Manfrotto tripod, and then I have an adapter on the top. This just comes off, and this holds the phone. It's just spring-loaded. This is about $10. This is about $50. You don't need one this expensive, but if you want to get a different one, any one will really do. Just make sure it's sturdy and does the job. This one actually expands. You can slide the legs in and out. It works really well. Let me go ahead and set this down. Now, of course, to film this, I'm actually using a different tripod. And this is a much more expensive tripod with a fluid head. It's what I normally use in my studio. You don't need one of these, but it has a different type of holder. And the reason I have this holder is because it has a shoe in the top that will hold a microphone or a different camera mount or something like that. So let me show you what I mean by that. Now, this is one of the microphones I use. Now, I use two different microphones from time to time, and this is the Rode Video Mic Go, and it has a couple accessories. Now, I just plug it directly into the iPhone a lot of the time, but you can't just have it flop around, so this is a shoe mount. Now, you'll see this just clips into the top like this. It holds the receiver for the Rode Video Mic Go, and then I just plug it into the bottom of the phone. And when I do that, this becomes a wireless receiver to receive what the microphone is sending it. Now, this cable here is a special cable that just works between the different type of connector, TRS, on the iPhone versus the standard, and it's about $10 for the cable. The wireless microphone system is a little bit more and works pretty well, but it's not something that I use all the time. The situation I would normally use this in is if I was far away from the camera. I'm about 30 feet away right now, and all you do is take this, clip it to your clothes, and you can probably hear me just fine. Now, if it's real windy out, that's another use for this, is it has a wind stop or muffler on it, or some people call it a dead cat. And if it's real windy out, this helps break up the sound of wind traveling over the microphone. So it's a lot better that way. So that's when I use this particular microphone. Now, the other microphone I use from time to time is this blue raspberry microphone. And this is a really good microphone. It cuts out a lot of background noise, and it's really simple. You've got a headphone jack here so you can hear what you sound like, and then you've got micro USB, and then it goes to lightning or regular USB. So you've got a lightning to micro USB. It's powered off the iPhone, and it sounds really good. Now I'm using the blue raspberry, and the nice thing about this microphone is it kind of gives you a more deep sound to your voice, but also eliminates sounds that are around you, except for higher pitch sounds like birds and things like that. So you sort of get to keep the environment, but you eliminate anything far in the background. So if you've watched any of my recent videos when I'm outside, this is what I'm using. And it really eliminates a lot of background noise. In fact, I had someone mowing a lawn probably 50 to 100 yards away. You could hear it easily, but you couldn't hear it through the microphone. Now, the bad thing is they don't make this anymore, but it is still available for $100 to $200. Now, if it's really light or bright out where you live, this is a must. This is a neutral density filter or an ND filter, and you'll see it's like sunglasses for your lens. The more I turn it, the darker it gets, or you can make it lighter. It just depends on what the situation is currently. So all it is a simple clamp that goes over your lens. You screw this into place, and then you clip this over the lens. So let me show you what it looks like. Now, if I turn the lens, I can make it really dark, and it's like you have a really dark pair of sunglasses on, or I can just make it a little bit lighter. It all depends on your situation. Now, this comes in at only about $20 or so, and I only use it when it's super bright out. And finally, if I need some super stable footage, I use this DJI Osmo. And this is a gimbal. They have newer versions of these now, but you turn it on and it holds your phone in place. So if I turn this on, you'll see the phone's kind of flopping around. I'll turn it on and it brings the phone right up. So you can use this joystick here. We'll just move it left to right. It gives you a nice pan shot, or up and down. And as you move it around, it just stays stable. So no matter where your arm is, it kind of moves around with you. Now I'm walking with no stabilizer with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but with the ultra-wide camera. And let me switch over to the iPhone XR that's on the gimbal to show you what that footage looks like as I walk along. Now, all of this gear will be listed in the description below, and the reality is you don't need much more than just your phone and a tripod. And the reason I say that is because this entire video was only recorded using the audio of the iPhone unless I was showing you the microphones. Otherwise, this is from the front-facing microphone on the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And the other iPhones have equally good microphones. So if you want to just get out there and start recording, whether it be from the front camera, the rear camera, just get out there, start creating. And if you want to try some of the other gear, like I said, it's listed in the description. If you haven't subscribed already, though, please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you'd like to see more of these videos as soon as they're released. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.